My god, is Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 Hardcore Mode a challenge? With all 10 negative perks active, if you're getting teleported all over the map and constantly struggling with your bad back,
Oh, my back!
or just simply dying to every bandit, then I've got everything you need to get better at the Hardcore Mode right here. Let me know any tips you have for the hardcore mode in the comments down below. We'll just do a quick explainer of all the negative perks and then talk about which ones are the best or the worst, I guess. And first being bad back. So your carrying capacity is about 50% lower. And when you bend down and pick up herbs and mushrooms, there's a chance you'll strain your back and be left with a lower movement speed for a period of time. Heavy boots, your shoes wear down faster and you generally make more noise when walking around. Numbskull, all your experience gain is 20% lower. With Somnambulant, your energy lowers faster, and every time you sleep, there is a chance that you will sleepwalk somewhere else on the map and just teleport anywhere. Hugely frustrating. Hangry Henry, in addition to the usual effects of hunger, starving also affects your speech, charisma, and intimidation, and food will fill you 20% less, and your digestion rate is 50% faster. With Sweaty, you will get dirty faster, and when you do, you can smell from twice as far away and make it easier for you to be detected, and Perfume doesn't have any positive effects. Picky Eater, food will spoil in your inventory 25% faster, and you only get a quarter of the meat when gutting animals. Bashful, you can't ask for directions and for special services at bathhouses, and gaining speech is 20% slower. And with Punchable Face, enemies will never surrender and become more confident when they fight you. There's also AI improvements in the hardcore mode, by the way. And Menace, the effects of being branded for a crime are permanent. Another serious crime will lead to execution. Guards will punish you more, and the consequence will be more intense. Guards will search you more often. But the best negative perks are a little bit dependent on how you choose to play. Now, if you want to get the Against All Odds achievement, obviously you need to have all of the negative perks active. But if you just want to experience the changes that hardcore mode makes, then you only need to have 3 of these equipped, and it's definitely beneficial to choose the ones that have, say, like the least damaging effects here. I would say the top 3 or so of these would be one being Sweaty. So even though you smell bad fast, it's very easy to just like clean yourself with all of the like wash tubs that are around, as well as launder your clothes, as there's plenty of that around as well. Picky Eater isn't bad, so food in your inventory spoiling faster, and gutting animals you only get a little bit less. That's not really that bad either, especially if you are using honey. More on that in a little bit. Heavy Footed is one that's not awful. Like your shoes wear down very quickly and you do generate a little bit more noise, but it's not that bad. Although like Bashful also is like pretty non-existent in terms of its punishment. You can't ask for directions or special services at bathhouses, so you can still get yourself like cleaned and your wounds healed at bathhouses. You just can't ask for, you know, that extra activity you can get from bathhouses. And then asking for directions is a mechanic specific to the hardcore mode because you can't see yourself on the map. So when you don't have Bashful, you can actually interact with like guards and citizens and ask them where you are, and they'll mark yourself on the map. I kind of like this feature, and I actually aren't a fan that this is disabled by one of the negative perks, because this is a feature specifically for the hardcore mode, and then it's disabled by a perk specifically in the hardcore mode. I'm just not really a fan of that. Like, why make a feature specifically for the hardcore mode if most players are just going to disable it because of the requirement to get that achievement? But anyway, so like Bashful depends on if you want that option or not. If you don't, then like it literally means nothing, and it would be one of the ones to run. And Menace as well, if you're not doing a crime run, is also good to have, because, you know, if you're not committing crimes, then you can't get caught. But do keep in mind though that Menace, like if you do get caught for a crime, like I did on stream, I literally just walked into an area and trespassed for like 2 seconds and was like straight back into the stocks like right at the start of the game. So definitely the punishment here is quite likely, and as soon as you get branded, you're basically done. Like you just can't talk to anyone. So would be very careful with that perk as well, and obviously doing crimes. Ultimately, though, I would say probably Sweaty, Picky Eater, Heavy Footed, and then take your pick with Bashful and Menace if you're, say, running the minimum, or choose one of the other ones. It's entirely up to you. Some tips specifically for the hardcore mode, like standard early game advice here is obviously like worthwhile. You know, go and talk to Bara. She'll give you some groschen. Go and get pebbles and get mutt, and obviously watch my best tips video, which has all of this like early game stuff covered. A good part of like the mutt quest can actually be skipped after you've inspected the deer and like the dead band bandit, you can kind of skip that early part. This is the same for a lot of those quests. We have to like find stuff. You can just like skip it if you kind of know where you've got to go. And anytime you're traveling away from towns, make sure you prepare for that. You're going to want to bring bandages, marigold decoction. Because of the disabled autosave, you definitely want to make sure you have a lot of save your schnapps with you, and also abuse that save and quit feature, because when you save and quit, you will create like a quit save that doesn't delete when you load that save. You can only have one of those, so next time you save and quit, it'll delete the previous one, but that's a way you can kind of abuse the save feature just a little bit. And with food, buy it, hunt it, do whatever. However, honey is hugely useful. It's renewable, it like never spoils, and there's a ton of it around the towns. You'll see like the beehives, even right in Troskowitz, like in that very first town, you'll see some honey there that you can just grab, carry that with you, and always pick up honey because it'll give you the most nourishment and it never spoils. You don't have to worry about any of that stuff, which is fantastic. And bring cobbler's kits with you if you do have the heavy footed, as well as all the other kits just for repairs. Now, because of the disabled fast travel, following paths and sticking on roads with the horse is definitely beneficial, so you can just like auto run to wherever you need to go. Now, your position on the map being disabled in this mode as well, like, and the compass, I wish they would just disable the compass in this mode rather than just have the lines, but when you've got the compass there, you don't know what direction you're pointing to and you can't see yourself on the map. Orientating yourself is quite tricky. What I would recommend is to find a point of interest on the map, like say a shrine or camp on the road, or anything like that, that when you discover these locations, immediately bring up the map and find where you are, because that new icon will be on the map. You can also use the stars and the sun and like large landmarks like Trotsky Castle to determine exactly where you are as well. Sleepwalking just sucks. Like, honestly, it's super frustrating when you sleep and you end up at literally other side of the map. It's happened to me multiple times. So I do recommend to save before you sleep so you can prevent that. Like if you do travel, just go back to that save, sleep again, it might not happen. I did see some people say that like you can be over encumbered and it doesn't happen. That's totally false. It does happen. It has happened to me. Cockerel potions will make sleeping unnecessary to some regard, like especially if you make the Henry ones later down the line. And that's the same for like all potions and like alchemy. Like alchemy is just OP in the game already, significantly more OP now in hardcore mode because of all the benefits and the features that it can kind of avoid you from having to interact with. Now, it's a little bit like cheating, but the Twitch drops and the deluxe edition items are still available in your chest. The downside here is that with like Bad Back, a lot of the initial gear that you'll get, like the Warhorse Studios gear, is a little too heavy to wear all of it. Though I do kind of feel like using this free gear is cheating in the hardcore mode. Like I just feel, considering that armor is so good and it sells for so much, I kind of think you shouldn't use it, but it's totally up to you. Like, just, you know, you can use them. They are going to be there. Same with that starter chest that you can put your Groshen in. So at the very start of the game, when you're in that intro sequence where you duel Hans, there's a chest in the cave there that you can actually put your Groshen in. And you can return to this location later and take that Groshen out. Just be careful because there will be bandits around that area. It's also a good die in there as well. Generally though, with the hardcore mode, patience is key, especially in the early hours of the game. It's very punishing, but the further you get in that experience, it does definitely get easier as you get more armor, more perks, and improve your overall self. Exactly the same as it does in the normal game. It just feels more punishing here, but as you obtain better armor, perks, Groshen, everything just gets that little bit easier. Now, lastly, I'll leave you with a huge tip, and that is to go back and watch my specific guides on alchemy, stealing, combat, best horse, all that stuff, because everything that was useful in the normal mode is especially useful in the hardcore mode, and all that same advice is absolutely true in the hardcore mode. Thank you guys for watching this video till the end. Thank you to our members for supporting the channel. My name is Norza, and I hope you have a great day.